Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for the University of Regina 2022 Alumni Effect Virtual Speaker Series. I'm Dr. Philip Choi. I'm the Dean and Professor of the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science at the University of Regina. Over the next hours, you will hear from our alum like Narayanasamy, a lifelong learner of the University of Regina, a good friend and a strong supporter for our faculty. So before I introduce Ren, I would like to acknowledge that the University of Regina and its federal colleges are on Treaty 4 and Treaty 6 territories, the homeland of the Nihoa and Anishinaabe, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and Métis and Métis nations. The University of Regina's Alumni Relations Department is pleased to be able to offer this Alumni Effect Speaker Series virtually. This is my first time hosting a lectures in this series, and I hope that your time with us today inspires you to return for future sections. We are going to learn the accomplishment of many of our successful alumni of the university. So I always said that the best measure of a university is the accomplishment of their alumni. Now, I should point out that these sections are being recorded and will be posted on the U of R alumni website so that you can watch the presentation again and share them with your friends and family. You will see the link to the alumni website in the chat if you would like to access the video later. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce this November speaker in the University of Regina 2022 Alumni Effect Virtual Speaker Series, Ren Narayanasamy. We're glad you're joining us. Ren is an alum of the University of Regina who has earned a Master of Engineering and an Executive Master of Business Administration degrees from here. Ren is now the President, CEO of the Petroleum Technology Research Centre, PTRC, coming from his senior management positions with the SaskPower. Ren has been working in the utility industry since 2005 in Canada and has over 17 years of experience in cybersecurity, engineering, operations, corporate finance, and business transformation. Quite a diverse area, actually. Today, Ren will discuss his experience as the student and an alum of the University of Regina and share with us the challenges and steps that he took to achieve his goals. Following his discussion, we will have about 15 minutes for a question and answer sections. As you listen to Ren's discussion, please put your questions in the chat feature, which you will find at the bottom of your screen. Alex will share your question with Ren after our discussion ends, and we will do our best to get to as many questions as time allows. Okay, and now I will turn the floor to Ren Narayanasamy to introduce himself. Right?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Choi. And I want to say, I wish I have some kind of a gift to give you for pronouncing my last name. Thank you for doing that. My last name is not as easy as people think. I just want to give you a quick highlight about why my name is Ran, because I'm Ranjit Narayanasamy, because I used to work at the University of Regina's Aramak Food Services. He used to, work in a Mr. Sub. Someone come and call me and say, hey, can I get a 12-inch Narayana salami? And I said, because of your last name, you know what I'm saying? Then I said, okay, let's keep it Ran. So let's make it simple. And, that's why I became Ran. The reason why I mentioned that to you is it's nothing wrong in being easy and accessible to people. One of the introduction I want to make sure is where people remember me. You know what I'm saying? One of them is complicated last name, also having a easier name, Ran, and, for my introduction, I just want to say thank you. Already, Dr. Chai gave a really good introduction about me. The most important thing I want to say is people call me spark plug because you can see, most people know me. They always tell, I have too much energy and stuff because, spark plug needs energy. to survive. So as a spark plug, I take energy from challenges. That's what I want to say. And I'm very fortunate to be in Saskatchewan and Regina, and I'm working for a company called PTRC, which is fantastic. And also, before I spent 17 years at SaskPower, I'm married. I have 2 kids. My daughter is grade 8, and my son is in grade 4. And Saskatchewan is my home, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. And thank you, Dr. Chai. I know you're a very busy man, taking your time to organize this. Thanks to University of Regina for making this kind of events to get engaged with the alumni like us and others in the province, outside the province, which is very important. Thank you.
Wow. Well, it's truly my pleasure to be here to speak with you. Actually, I think both my faculty and faculty business are proud of having a alumni like yourself, that such a well-accomplished individuals. So we are really excited to hear things from you. So, like, my first question to you is they want to know is what inspired you to follow your career path, and what interests you about the work you do actually.
No, it's a really great question. But I think, what inspired my career path is, I want to say being in Canada, it's a big advantage because in Canada, you can do whatever you want. And especially when you come to a faculty setting like UFR, which really helped me and transform myself to take on whatever career I want. I did engineering. I went back and did my business degree because I thought, having engineering is a plus. But if you don't understand the business point of view, it's not going to help. So having that kind of a combination, especially engineering, gives you a lot of base. Because as an engineer, you can do a lot of things. Even if you look at the career of engineers, mostly they end up in management because as an engineer, you are not bound by work in one specific area in your career. You can work in customer service. Even I see engineers work in human resources. Myself, I have done a lot of work in business development. There is no boundaries for engineers. That's really helped me having that engineering degree. I'm very fortunate. Then having that business degree, that really helped me to complement my skill sets. It really helped me to take on some challenges. The one thing I want to say, what inspires me is the challenges again, because when you look at the energy transition right now, we are working towards, everybody's talking about it. And all the good work University of Regina engineering team is doing, they really appreciate it. And we have been working together. Those kind of challenges need solutions. So I always believe engineers can provide that solution in the industry and in the world. So that's really inspired me where I can make an impact, because I always tell myself, we are going to be in a very short time in this planet. Let's make a positive impact. Let's work together. How can we make a positive impact? I'm very fortunate to work on some very interesting projects in my life. I will touch on later. But I want to say what inspired me is the challenges. And also the work I do, I personally believe that I'm making an impact, especially the current work I'm doing. We are trying to reduce the CO2. That is a big problem right now across the world. You really need to be inspired to do the work, because you have to keep the economy growing, and keeping the economy at the same time, you need to control the CO2. It goes hand in hand. So that's why I like working with researchers at UFR, in your faculty, and my team here. I have a fantastic team. They work really hard. They're very smart. And also what inspires me is I'm surrounded by smart people, including Dr. Chai sitting here. You know what I'm saying? That really helps me a lot. I felt I'm very fortunate. I surrounded by very, very smart people, even my co-workers from my past work at SaskPower, and everyone who inspired me, because they are smarter than me. They really helped me to going. So I think my inspiration comes from others and challenges.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ren. I agree with you that we're truly in the so-called energy transition period. That for sure, that's what I see as an engineer myself. I can see what in the future we're going to use a mixture of energy sources. And one thing about the burning fossil fuels of petroleum is the carbon emissions. So that's why I think they're working hard at PTRC, and some of the faculty members in my faculty working really hard trying to reduce the carbon emissions. and do this carbon capture work. And I think that is important because like the internal combustion engine re-engineer design that consume all these fossil fuels that really help us civilize over the last 100 years. So that's why now we know, we see the problem. Now we do all sort of work to minimize the impact of this carbon emission onto our environment. But while you're doing all this work, right? So what challenges did you face while following your career path and taking those steps?
Oh, that's another great question. You all can see from my slang and my color, I'm not from here. I'm a first generation immigrant in Canada. Very fortunate to be here. I've been here almost 18, 19 years now. And the first challenge I had is when I came here is come to any new country. For anyone to start a new life, it's not easy. But I always felt still today, I always think my communication skills is not up to the mark, but that's fine. But you're going to improve on it. You're going to work on it. And also, when I had a lot of challenges, when I came here as a student, I'm not the brightest student. Don't think I'm too smart, folks. I'm not, but I'm a very hard worker, but I'm very fast learner. And some of the challenges is when you're new, getting adapted to the culture, especially Saskatchewan. The weather is really shocking for me. And I came from a very tropical city. And most important thing is these challenges, I thought it created opportunity for me to explore new things, learning new things. And also the most important challenges, as a newcomer have is getting integrated into the culture and understanding the community, understanding the economy of Canada and stuff. But I want to say for any newcomer who are listening in this call, if you come here as a landed immigrant, that's fine. But if you get a chance, try to go to school here. Doesn't matter which province you're in UFR or UFS or SaskPower, try to at least take 1 or 2 classes. Because the challenges I'm saying, because it really get rid of my challenges by coming to school here directly, because that really helped me to get into the community. That really helped me a lot. Understand the Canadian culture, Canadian work culture, and able to interact with people from multiple different backgrounds, not just from India, from Nigeria, from China, from Thailand, even local Canadians, even local Indigenous people. That's very important. University, having a First Nations university, it really helped me to understand how Indigenous economy is an important economy here too. And also how immigrants shape that country. For example, when you look at the Canadian Pacific Railway, they go to a museum in Moose Jaw, you look at how people work hard to build this country. So what I want to say is this challenges you're going to face, but I had an advantage because I convert the challenge into opportunity because being able to come to school here. So, and also I want to say the other challenges is when you go to the workforce, you have to ready to take on anything comes in your way. You don't want to have a set goal saying that I'm an engineer, I'm going to do only engineering work. The most important thing is you have to be very, very, very flexible. I want to say flexible means like you have to ready to take on anything comes in your way. Don't, try to say I'm only electrical engineer, do the electrical work. You should try different things. That really helped my career. Even when I worked on Indigenous files and some very important negotiations, and also able to create a new economy. When I was at SaskPower, we had created $400 million of new economy for Indigenous economic development. And as a team, including myself, we won a Premier Award in 2019 for public service excellence. So again, there's a challenge, but again, there is an opportunity. And again, the current job, I'm moving to a prestigious organization like PTRC. They've been doing work for the last 25 years. There's a lot of challenges. Like Dr. Chai just mentioned, the energy transition is going to drive the future economy. I'm already feeling a lot of pressure to come up with a solution because the cost is really high to make energy transition. But that's what the work we are doing together here is how can we find a cost-effective solution, and also how can we bring the awareness of energy transition to a normal people, like this kind of a coffee table conversation like this. How people can understand energy transition can happen. At the same time, we can keep the economy growing because there is a lot of challenges. that's why I took on this job with PTRC is one of the reason is I know it's going to be a really big challenge. And also other thing is I want to be honest is I want to work with some of the smartest people who made this carbon capture, utilization, storage happen already. And Saskatchewan is the world leader. So I will be surrounded by a lot of smart people. That really helped me too. And also having that business experience and some business background that really tries to put how we can put a techno-commercial solutions for the future where we can build a better economy. So my career, I feel myself is, I am inside the bubble of challenges. You know what I'm saying? This every day is different. There is no lack of entertainment in my job because every day there is new set targets are coming, new challenges are coming, and I'm working with smart people. So the challenges is really fun because I feel challenges are my holidays. I'm not saying this because we are having this conversation. I felt that way because it really motivates me every day to get up, go to work, so we all can make an impact. I have a team which is really working hard here in PTRC. So let's work together and let's try the challenges. You know, if you don't try it, nothing's going to happen.
Wow, thank you, Ren. I could use one word to summarize what you have just said. As a first generation of immigrants, that adaptability, right? You basically you take whatever opportunities are available to you. You don't just have to focus on one thing. Like you do whatever come along, and then you learn the culture here, and then you try to contribute as much as you can to this country because this is your adopted country that you're proud of basically. So you would do things for it basically. So now let's move on to the next question. Is like, who were your mentors and what examples did they set for you as you navigated your way past those challenges and forward in your career?
Oh, that's another great question. I don't know who created this question. It's great questions. I think I want to say when I first moved to Canada, I didn't even know there is a mentor concept here. You know what I'm saying? But I have several mentors. I want to touch on them, some of their names. This is a great platform for me to give them some kind of a credit to them. And the reason I'm saying is because when you come new here, you don't understand a lot of things. Having a mentor doesn't matter whether you are from any country or even you live here forever, you're born here, doesn't matter. I'm saying in common, having a mentorship and having a mentor is a big blessing, folks. And especially for me, I want to say my first mentor here is Mr. Frank Proto. I'm sitting in a boardroom which is named after him. I never thought I'm going to be a CEO of an organization. He was the first chairman of PTRC in 1998. I was not even been in Canada at that time. I met him in an event and he was very helpful. And one thing he really helped me in the early stages, I'm talking about 15, 16 years back, is improve my communication skills. You know, don't take things for granted. You know, that really helped me a lot. And also he mentioned sitting on the board or a non-profit or an organization or any company, which is really valuable. I didn't know that, you know, like how important the board of directors for the company, because he was the chairman of Agrium at that time. It's a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company in TSX and New York Stock Exchange. So that really helped me personally. Then I got into a graduates Crown Corporation board when I was around 29, below 30. I was one of the guys to sit on a Crown Corporation board. If I didn't know about it, if I didn't get that advice, I would never even apply. When that position was advertised, I threw my name in. People were thought, okay, are you joking? You don't even have enough experience. You are applying for a Crown Corporation board. But I got into the board. That time, I want to thank also Mr. Perry Belgard. He was the ex-national chief of, AFN, and he was there. He interviewed me and I got into the board. So the mentors like us help you to get in there. Now, I want to mention another mentor, Doug Kellen, was the former CEO of Sask Energy. Again, I met him in an event. He was talking about, one of the things he's mentioned to me is having diverse experience. Like we just discussed before, that's very, very important. If you have a career aspirations and want to get into management and do different things, he mentioned you have to do different things. Don't be too comfortable. I want to give a credit to him. And also, currently I have Doug Mowen. He is the former deputy minister for Premier Brad Wall. I'm very fortunate to meet him again in even 5-6 years back. He talked about proudness of public service excellence in public service. It's not that you have to excel only in private companies or publicly traded companies. You can still do a good work in a crown setting, government setting, in a university setting. You should be proud of, you still can make an impact. So he talked about how public service excellence is very important to carry your career forward. And I want to give big credit. I will call him a friend and a coach, Grant Ring at SaskPower. I spent 17 years there. I had some great people I worked with, especially with the Grant Ring. What I learned from him is giving a benefit of doubt to people. Because I came from India, I got so much benefit of doubt. So I should be giving that. And also, I said I'm a spark plug. I don't have patience. That's a problem with me. That's a blessed curse. But I learned sometimes, you need to be patient. When you're working on very challenging projects, even research, you need a lot of patience. When you're working on a certain stuff like what we are working, PTRC and for researchers, the results are not going to come in day one. But you have to take all the right actions. That's very important. Also, my past CEO, Mike Marsh, he always tells, when you do 10 things, make sure and you do 7 or 8 things right. Don't screw up all 10 things, then you want to have your job. You know what I'm saying? But there is opportunity to make some mistakes. If you do 10 things, I don't think everybody in this call will have all 10 things done right. But for me, able to do at least the 7 or 8 or 6 things very good that helped me with my career. So those mentors like them, even I worked with Thomas Malloy. He was a past Lieutenant Governor General of Saskatchewan, unfortunately passed away. He told me how important to work with the Indigenous communities when we are negotiating very important deals with Peter Ballantyne. He talked about most important thing is being humble. One big thing I learned from everybody is the humility piece. That's very, very important. You have to be grounded. Whether you are a CEO or you're an engineer or analyst, doesn't matter. You have to carry yourself very, very humble, and you have to respect everyone, and you have to give a benefit of doubt, and always think about how you can improve your communication. I'm still improving. Even today, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't look like nervous, but I can't pronounce certain words right, folks. But that's okay. You want to keep practicing. You know what I'm saying? You have to take the inputs. And having a mentors means they are not your friends, folks. They are your best critique and worst. They will check your ego all the time and say, you are not good in this. Sometimes, you know what? You need that. You don't want to think you are always best. You know what I'm saying? Having a mentor is very, very important. I want to thank them all because they really helped me to shape who I am today by identifying my weakness. That's the most important thing. Understanding your weakness is very important. So I have a lot of weaknesses, but they really help me how I can convert my weakness into a strength. One of the things is doing an MBA. And Frank mentioned as an engineer, having a business degree will help you understand the business aspect of it. So these are my mentors, and I want to thank them all. Really enjoy working with them.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan, for sharing your thoughts about the importance of having the mentors when you move forward along in your career path. Actually, I agree 100% of it. During your answer that you mentioned something like we have to have a lot of patience to do research. Then one thing I always tell my friends that because we have so much patience, that's why we're being called doctor. So the last questions. How did the University of Regina help you reach your goals, actually?
No, I think that's a great question. I think I want to say, because of I'm here talking, I'm standing here, sitting here, and living in Canada, I think the credit goes to UFR here. You know what I'm saying? Without University of Regina, I wouldn't be who I am today, because I'm not saying because of that, that's true. Because University of Regina opened the door for me. Like I said, I'm not the brightest students. They always give me a benefit of doubt. And it opened my career and life for me. When you have a have-not life and you come to Canada and have some better life, compared to what I had back home, I want to give all the credit to UFR, because we have to realize universities are very, very important economic engine, because university produces the students, not only that they help them to get into the workforce and make them a better in their career, and also make them a better person. Because one thing I like about the profs are they're really hard, but they're in hindsight, they always want the students to be successful. Whether you are a smart student or 90 plus or someone like me, average, they always care about the students. They always want them to be successful. Whether you're good or bad, I want to give credit to the professors for that. They treat all the students same. Even people who are smartest, someone like average like me. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. Being average is not a bad thing, folks. You know what I'm saying, right? The most important thing is, I want to say here is, UFR helped shape my life. I'm able to win bread today in the great country in Canada. I want to give a credit to UFR. And most important thing is, I had 2 degrees from UFR. And thank you for that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To come to this country and able to win bread. And I'm very fortunate at this current job. I'm working with UFR very closely. We are working on very important stuff, folks. What we are working on is energy transition. That is a need for the hour. You can see in COP27 in Egypt, people are negotiating 24 hours, 24/7 to get a deal done, to do something in energy transition. I want to say UFR in North America, even in the world, are leaders in CCUS. I'm boldly say, I'm proud to say, because that's the truth. I want to say UFR. And also in terms of developing business leaders. Mm-hmm. Like UFR is it's a great organization. And most important thing is, without UFR, I don't think we can able to sustain a Saskatchewan economy, honestly saying, because business students, kinesiology, chemistry, physics, all kinds of stuff, ESL, engineering. So I want to say UFR is a very important economic engine of this province, even in the country, I want to say.
Well, thank you, Ren. With that, we conclude my interview process here today. And Alex will now start the question and answer portion from the chat functions. So I think that Alex will ask, the question is to Ren, basically from the chat functions.
Awesome. Thank you. So first question is from Robin Wall. It says, hello, Ran. Can you please talk about your transition from SaskPower to your new position, the challenges, surprises, etc.?
No, that's a great question. Robin is a good friend, and also he's alumni of UFR too. And he's MBA from UFR and one of the bright guys. I worked at SaskPower. Great question. I think I want to say that when you transition from a big company, again, PTRC small, but main thing is your transition to a president CEO. You have to understand the importance of working with the board of directors. I was on many boards as a board member, but when you're reporting to the board, you have to understand and make sure that the company strategy and everything is aligned with the board of directors' vision. And also, you want to make sure you are a cog in a big wheel. Basically, you are saying that you might be CEO, but there's so much going around you. But you need a cog and you need a wheel, both. So you need to understand that both things. There's a bigger strategy picture and also how you're going to implement. And also, you want to make sure your team is also, there with you to carry that board's vision. Because board sets the strategy as a CEO, we as a company follow that. And also we set our strategy, right? We need to understand that balance. That's what one of the transition I learned a lot is how to work with the board. And most important thing is I want to credit to our board of directors for giving me a benefit of doubt to putting me in this job. And also we have a very diverse board. They're very supportive. And even UFR is on our board, thanks to their contributions. And the transition phase was very seamless because I want to thank my board, but they really helped me to have a conversation with my team. They even introduced the team to me before. And I want to thank my team first year at PTRC. They welcomed me with my open hands and they gave me that same benefit of doubt I was talking about before. And also all the researchers at the UFR and the Saskatchewan Research Council, SRC, all the clients we work with, including people from Japan, JOGMAC, Australia, we work, and also the government of Saskatchewan. And also Innovation Saskatchewan is almost a majority of our funders. They all were very supportive of my transition. I'm very fortunate. So that puts me a lot of pressure, Robin. That means, it puts me in a lot of pressure. That's fine. But also I don't want all of them to let down. I want to give 102% of my efforts and my abilities to move the organization forward, working collaboratively. But there's the challenges, but I felt it seamless, easier, because I think the people around me supported me really well to transition. I want to give credit to them to make especially my team, again, they were really supportive and very nice to me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. The next question was from Sarah Federico. How did your Master of Engineering relate to your EMBA?
I think, what I will say, I think at SaskPower, we have done a MBTA test, for 200, 300 engineers. Almost 90% of them are introverts as engineers. I'm one of the odd guy. I'm too extrovert. I'm trying to use the new word called ambivert, how to listen more and try to not talk more. But as an engineer, mostly, Dr. Chai can align what I'm saying is, we are more process analytical thinkers. We think we are smart, but I said I'm not. But at the end of the day is, having that strong engineering background really helped me to understand a lot of complexity. But again, I talked about before too, that business is very important. If numbers and your business case and what you are doing doesn't bring revenue, doesn't matter whether it's profit or non-profit, you're not going to be sustainable. So having the engineering and having the MBA really helped me to understand anything. When you look at it, I always ask, are we making any money? You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. Having that engineering, strong fundamentals of analytical thinking and looking at the complexity, how to find solution. At the same time, keep business in mind, how to make money. And for me, most important thing is, how can we create jobs? How can we increase the GDP here? How can we work with everyone in the industry? That's very important. So I think understanding that both sides, still I'm learning, but that really helped me both. I want to say that both complemented, but being an engineer really helped to put a business on top of it, because the organization like PTRC is a very technical organization, but it's a business too. Same with UFR. It is a business. At the same time, you need to make sure it both aligns together. So I want to say that both adds a very complementary value. It's not that every engineer has to take a business degree, I'm saying, but I'm saying it's a really good tool to have in your toolbox to have a business and engineering together, because it goes hands in hand for driving your, your own career, even driving your organization. Whatever you do, it helps you. Hope I answered your question, Sarah.
I think that was a great way to put it. Being a lifelong learner is a great thing. Next question is from Imran Ahmed. Hi, Ran. According to you, what is the right time to get an MBA? I work at SaskPower and I have 8 years of experience in IT and engineering, and I have a Master's of Engineering degree from the U of R. My motive is to land a management position and grow from there. What would be your suggestion from someone like me in my current phase of my career?
I think that's a fantastic question, Imran. I want to touch on one thing is, I didn't touch on before is we all go through a mid-career crisis or mid-career dilemma, I want to say. It's not a crisis, it's a dilemma. Like you are in a perfect situation. You have almost 8 years of professional experience. You excel in your job. You have an amazing education with your IT experience and masters from UFR. You are really in a really good position. But again, doing something away from IT, maybe you can do something. Again, it's up to you, and it's not that you have to do it. What I'm saying is, in the business development or looking at different kind of domain at SaskPower. SaskPower is a very big company. I was very fortunate to work on so many different areas: supply chain, indigenous business development, hydro development, cyber security, SCADA. So I don't even know what I did there. You know what I'm saying? Because of that opportunity that you have there, right? So that's really good. So having an MBA, again, it's a perfect timing, I think. I think to taking education, there's no timing is right. Whether you're in 30s, 20s, 50s, doesn't matter. Education is education. You're going to learn something out of it. But I think for you, I'm saying with your great experience, having a business degree or even a PMP, anything masters in anything you do. Even I tell people to even do masters in economics, because we need more economists in the countries. You know what I'm saying? Not just engineering business, to understand the economics of the situation, right? So you see what your passion is. I think you are in a very good position and situation right now to explore that. Having that experience on a degree you have already, I think UFR will be lucky to have you if you want to do the program. I will recommend you to do the program in UFR. I'm being a little bit biased.
Thank you, Ran. I also recommend that. The next question is from Maxine Cunningham. How do you go about meeting all these diverse people?
I think one thing is, that's a great question. Humility is very important, especially what I learned working in Black Lake and Peter Ballantyne in the north with multiple indigenous communities. You don't want to go. I don't wear my ring as an engineer. I stopped wearing it for many, many years ago, because I want to go as who I am. I want people to see as who I am as a Ran, what I can do for them. How can we work together? How can we build the trust? Because we should always remember, when you're meeting people, you should think about it's a relationship-based business. It's not a transactional-based. So when you have that kind of a mindset, and also you want to be very open, and you don't want to go with a prejudgment or saying that preconceived notion of meeting someone, oh, Dr. Chai should be like this, because he's a dean. You know what I'm saying? He's an engineer. So engineers are like that. And also, okay, Ryan is from India. So the Indian people might be like this. You know, you don't want to have any kind of, have a preconceived notion. Just go with an open mind. Like this conversation we're having, you know what I'm saying? Like, be free, and also respect. That's very important. One thing I learned is, you want to treat it how you want to be treated. It doesn't matter who they are and what position they are, but also make sure you treat everyone same, but you don't treat them based on who they are because of the position or stuff. That's fine, but that's not I am. But I want to make sure everybody is treated same. And again, I'm not perfect either, but most important thing is the humility is very important. When you carry a humility to meet people, that really helps you to have a transparent conversation and build the trust. That's what helped me to meet so many people and having so many collaborations. I believe that you go with an open mind and being humble. And also, you want to show that you are really serious about those conversations and not for sake of having a conversation. These are the things I try to carry forward when I meet with all kinds of people. Doesn't matter where they are from. Yeah.
Very well said. And this next comment, I think, goes well with what you had just said. So Brian says, having known Ran for a while, one of his strengths is his enthusiasm.
I think I want to congratulate, Brian Crossman, right? I want to congratulate him. He just got that Queen's Jubilee Award too. You know, he works hard in the energy industry in Estevan. I want to give all those folks work hard, and they make our job easier. So when we bring up the CCS solutions together, so those people like Brian around, they can go on able to make it happen, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And also, most important thing about enthusiasm is, that's the problem with me. That's my blessed curse. I have too much energy sometimes.
So we'll just have time for one last question here. It's from Ahmed Adawi. Based on your board experience as a first generation trying to jump into Canada, which engineering industry section is in need right now?
I think, you know what people say, the technology industry, like the IT industry, there's always going to be there. But I want to personally say the big industry is going to be the clean energy transition. The reason I'm saying that is because there is 150 countries are sitting together in our rooms and trying to figure out that. That clearly shows that the industry is going to take off. So one of the reasons I really like and enjoy and coming to PTRC is because I know PTRC has done amazing work with their researchers from UFR and other universities and SRCs on energy and clean transition. Because that industry is going to take off very, very fast. There is a tax incentives. And even in America states, they're giving $85 a ton to store a CO2. And Canada has a $2.6 billion of tax credits for CCUS. Why I'm saying that is because I'm not talking about renewable energy, just wind and solar. That industry is already matured. I'm talking about anything to do with the methane, carbon reduction, and looking at hydrogen. These three areas are going to have a bright future, folks, because that's where people are struggling. Like you see COP27, COP28, what people are talking about is emissions reductions. They're not talking about anything else. I know the COVID, the vaccine is very important. That's a big one. And also look at, we have 8 billion people on the planet now. So what they all need? Energy. Even I need energy. I need an energy bar after this conversation anyhow. But what I'm saying is we all need energy. So how we can provide a clean transition energy is going to play a very, very important role in shaping this world and the planet. I think Canada is the world leader in it. I want to highlight that Canada is the world leader in it. And in Canada, Saskatchewan is done it. So we have a best technological solutions for the world. That's why we are having ambassadors visiting Saskatchewan, visiting UFR, visiting SaskPower, Boundary Dam site, and Aki store from PTRC. So there is so much opportunities in that area if you are looking at that. Even if you're a non-engineer, looking at clean energy transition is not a bad thing. ESG, environmental, social, and governance certifications are going to play a big role because banks are not giving you loans to the big companies if you don't have a ESG strategy. Like how things are transitioning, right? So again, it's my own opinion. Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering questions. I wish we could keep going, but due to time, we will end there, and I'll pass it back to Dr. Choi to wrap up. Thank you, Ran.
Thank you, Alex. When you talk about 8 billion people on this planet, I remember the year when I was born, you can guess, there were about 3 billion people on this planet. So
now you know your age. I'm just kidding.
Yes. So basically with this actually 5 billion people, or in the future that we want to have more, we all need energy. We all need to breathe clean air, drinking clean water, have sufficient food to eat. They are all intertwined because like any energy process or energy transition will involve environment aspect of it. So I think like when you go into any area like this, it would be fine.
And it's again coming from a dean of engineering folks. We all should take this serious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for everyone for joining us today anyway. So and contributing to the conversation. And thank you, Ren, for sharing your expertise and time. A video of today's Alumni Effect will be posted soon on the alumni section of our website. A link to our website can be found in the chat. Feel free to share the link with your family and friends. Our next Alumni Event speakers will be in New Year's on January 24th, 2023. Please stay tuned on the University of Regina Alumni website and social media channels for updates on the Alumni Effect. And don't forget to watch our past events in the meantime. Until then, take care and stay warm. Bye now.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.